Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 5 Career Mode on the channel. Today we will decide the Truck Series champion between myself, Austin Hill, Grant Enfinger, and Ross Chastain here in Phoenix Raceway. The first time in our NASCAR Heat Career Mode in general from any Heat game that we will decide a championship on a track that is not Homestead Miami Speedway. So hopefully today at the end of 38 laps we will come out as the victor here, and hopefully we will be a rookie champion here in the Truck Series. So we'll come through into our qualifying lap here in Phoenix Raceway. We come into this weekend with some momentum on our side, so that was kind of what I was looking at to maybe carry us towards the championship, because in past NASCAR Heat games my pace at this track hasn't been very good, and you guys have noticed that. We did get a Cup Series win here though in our NASCAR Heat 4 Career Mode, but we would come through to cross the line with a 27.455, and unfortunately we only go P14, so automatically I was a little bit concerned there with the P14 qualifying effort. But we have our competitors kind of right around us there, so none of our final four competitors really outdid us too much other than Grant Enfinger, who qualified in P4. So right now Grant Enfinger would start this race as your championship leaders. We get ready to go green here for the Lucas Oil 150 at Phoenix Raceway to decide the champion here in Phoenix. I'm still not a huge fan of deciding the championship at this track personally. It just doesn't fit right in my opinion. I always feel like it should be a mile and a half to decide the champion, because that's the type of track NASCAR goes to the most. But either way, we get ready to go green here in Phoenix Raceway for the final race of our full-time Truck Series career as well, and hopefully we will be a champion at the end of this one. We've had a bunch of wins here in our rookie season, and we look to cap it off with a title to our name as we go down into turns one there behind the 45 of Ty Majeski now as we come through out of turns two. So hopefully we can just use this inside lane to our advantage, and sure enough we're up the inside now of our teammate of Zane Smith. Right now we have Ross Chastain as in the final four. He was actually behind me. Austin Hill just in front of me. Grant Enfinger qualified P4, but he's already falling down the order a little bit, thankfully for us now, as we hit 9 to go here in the stage. I did bump this race length up to 25% there to add some length. Now, as this would be the only race we are doing in this video being the championship race, but I will show our Xfinity team selection at the end of this episode there. As you see me looking to the inside of Austin Hill, we would pass him for the position, but he would fight back here on lap 3 and get back up my inside as we came through turns 1 and out of turns 2. As we go down this back straight with Grant Enfinger, the championship leader, was just in front of me there in P7, so we were actually in a pretty decent position here as we came through turns 3, actually going 3 wide there with Ben Rhodes and Zane Smith. A little bit of contact was made. I lose a good chunk of ground here as we hit 7 to go in stage 1. So the first opening laps pretty exciting here in Phoenix as we go down into turns 1. Contact with our teammate of Zane Smith. He goes sideways, getting hit by Gilliland, but he hangs on to it, and we all keep it straight now as we drop down into the 10th position here, actually down to P11 at this point, as I would have to fight my way back. We got to the inside of Riley Herbst and just put our head back in the game as Ross Chastain had gotten to my back bumper now, so he was obviously currently last in the final 4, but he seemed to actually have a lot of speed to come through to lap 5 of 10 in the first stage. He would dive up my inside into turn 3. The AI were catching me way off guard early in this race. Into turn 3 they were able to dive up my inside. Chastain, he was moving his way forwards very, very quickly, so I was a little bit concerned actually seeing him drive away from me as we came to just 2 to go here in stage 1. You can see just how fast his truck is as we actually would close the gap up on him here as we came through to start the final lap, as he seemed to actually stall out, because now on the final lap into turns 1 in stage 1 we're right on the back bumper of him, but currently we are P4 of 4 in the final 4 right now as we come through on this final lap of the first stage. A little bit tight there on the exit of turns 2 as we go down this back straightaway. Chastain trying to look to the inside of Gray as we go down into turn 3, but it's Grant Enfinger, Austin Hill, Ross Chastain, and myself in that order for the final 4 as we exit turns 4 here in stage 1. We come through to cross the line in P11. So far not really looking good at all for us, but on the fortunate side, the leader of the final 4 is only in P7, so it's definitely not a lost cause at this point as we get ready to go green here for the start of the second stage. Ross Chastain just in front of myself, and then we got Grant Enfinger and Austin Hill on the row in front of us side by side now as the green flag is back out, and the second stage is underway. 9 laps here in stage 2, and the whole final 4 is grouped within these 3 rows as we go down into turns 1. Austin Hill being at probably the biggest disadvantage right now as we come through turns 1 and out of turns 2 side by side with our final 4 competitor of Austin Hill, and right on the back of our other competitor of Ross Chastain as we're going to make it 3 wide with him and Majeski for a brief moment down into turns 3. Unfortunately, couldn't quite make that move work there as we, though, would clear Austin Hill and move into P3 for the championship now as we come through, cutting down on that dogleg, getting 3 wide there with Majeski and Chastain to try and move into P2 for the championship now, as I just couldn't quite make it work again, though, down into the corner. But sure enough, we would still fight up the inside of Majeski at least now as we came through hitting lap 3 of the second stage. So we clear Majeski, take over P8, and try to climb up to the back of Chastain for P7, but Chastain, he would get to the inside of Grant Enfinger here down the back straightaway. Now Ross Chastain would be leading the championship battle here in the second stage now as we got dived up the inside once again by the 45 of Ty Majeski. Now as the AI certainly like to do that here apparently in Phoenix, but we would cross him back over and retake the position as we would try to fight back up to Grant Enfinger there in the number 98 there as we go down into turns 1, sliding up in front of Majeski and holding on to P8 as Austin Hill would try to slide in behind us as well and pass Ty Majeski there in that number 45. But we get to the inside now of Grant Enfinger on lap 6 of 9 in stage 2. Kind of a nice moment there as we come through hitting 3 to go in stage 2. So now we move into P2 for the championship as we go down into turns 1. There's a truck smoking up ahead. It's the championship leader of Ross Chastain, who has just blown up here in Phoenix as we exit turn 2. He is out of the race now. The championship leader will take a DNF in Phoenix Raceway, and all of a sudden that moves myself into the 6th position here in Phoenix, and that would put us obviously in the championship lead. So we come straight to the final lap here of stage 2, and we actually had a comfortable gap over anybody that kind of got messed up there from Ross Chastain as we go down this back straightaway for the final time here in stage 2. Stuart Friesen leading the way as he barely missed out on the final 4. So thankfully he didn't make it because he would have been running away with this championship. Now as we come through to cross the line, P6 in stage 2, championship leader at the end of stage 2. So what a bit of a turnaround this has been. We were the worst of the final 4 in stage 1, and then Ross Chastain would take the championship lead in stage 2, and then he blows up, and then we would come through to take over the front position here of the championship at the end of the second stage. So we'll be restarting here in P6 for the start of stage 3, the final stage of our rookie season here in the Truck Series. Stuart Friesen leads the way as we are now underway here in stage 3. 13 laps remain now as we look to be the first Canadian Truck Series champion here in the first season of our career mode here in NASCAR Heat 5 as we go down into turns 1. There you see Spencer Boyd just in front of myself. Our closest competitor right now is Grant Enfinger. He is on the row behind us, and we've called him, or I've called him at least, our biggest competitor all season long. And when it came through at the start of the season, after the first 4 or 5 races, I didn't think we were going to be a championship contender, to be completely honest, as it was a rough start to the season. We did get a win early in the season, but it still just didn't go the way I wanted it to. But now here we are so many wins later, and now at the top of the championship grid as we go down into turns 1. At this point, only 11 laps to go. Enfinger had actually dropped down just a little bit as I got dived up the inside, or dove up the inside again by the 99 of Ben Rhodes as we come through, hitting 10 laps to go in the season here as Stuart Friesen still leading the way as we went down into turns 1. Boyd up there in 4th as we go down into the corner. So I gave up a few positions, but at this point it was okay. I wasn't too concerned because we actually had a decent gap here over Grant Enfinger and Austin Hill. So things were looking pretty good for us. We come to lap 32, less than 10 laps to go at this point as we were coming through out of turns 4. It actually hit 6 laps to go to be exact. As at this point I'm just knowing if I don't make a mistake, we should come out of here as the champion now, and I was just kind of hoping it would stay green as we hit 5 laps to go here in Phoenix Raceway. I never thought I would have a chance to win a championship at a track like Phoenix Raceway, a track I've struggled at in every NASCAR game really. Now as we go down to just 4 laps to go, still in front, in charge of the championship, and just like I said, hoping that the green flag will remain in the air now as we come through out of turns 2. Friesen still leading the way at this point as I was trying to run down Spencer Boyd, and we come through to just 2 laps to go. We had closed that gap up a little bit to the drivers in front of us now, as long as Stuart Friesen makes it to the white flag, we are in great shape. But Friesen was actually under a little bit of pressure from, I believe that might have been the 4 of Raphael Lessard on the back of him as we go down this back straightaway for the final time here, or for the second final time, sorry. We're about to hit the final time here in Phoenix as we come through out of turns for Stuart Friesen. Takes the white flag, exactly what we wanted. Now as we start the final lap ourselves, as we dive down this front straightaway towards turns 1, P7, not the greatest performance here for our Truck Series standards, but it is good enough to have us in P1 for the championship on the exit of turns 2 on this final lap. Grant Enfinger, Austin Hill, both have had very respectable competitive seasons, but it's going to be us through turns 3 and out of turns 4 in our rookie season in the Truck Series. We are going to come through to win the Truck Series championship here in Phoenix Raceway now, as it looked like Ross Chastain was probably going to run away with the championship, but thankfully it worked out in our favor. Unfortunate for Chastain, Enfinger, Austin Hill didn't even finish in the top 10, so we didn't really have a whole lot of competition at the end there, which was very surprising. But we come out of here a Truck Series champion, and obviously now we focus towards the Xfinity Series as our next step up the ladder here in towards the Cup Series now, as obviously we will be doing one full Xfinity season, and hopefully we'll get a solid Cup ride for the season after that now, as there you see, congratulations. You won the championship here for the Truck Series. So very happy to do that in our rookie season, as I'm not sure, we might have won the Truck Series championship from NASCAR Heat 3, NASCAR Heat 4, and now NASCAR Heat 5. I can't remember if we won it in Heat 4 or not, but I know we did in NASCAR Heat 3 in thrilling fashion. It was like a 3-way tie for the championship back in NASCAR Heat 3 for the Truck Series championship there, as you see the little news thing on your screen. So before we end this episode, we're going to show where we're going next season for the Xfinity Series. I could stay in the Chevrolet camp. We do have an offer from Stewart Haas Racing, keep that in mind, but we also completed a hot seat at Las Vegas for Joe Gibbs Racing, and that was really kind of where my mind was looking, as I remember in NASCAR Heat 4, we never did a JGR playthrough, so I'm thinking that could kind of be the route we go, and with the whole driver roster thing that I'm able to do now being on PC, that this could really work in our favor now, as I decide we're still going to actually run in the Truck Series. We're not going to have subscribers in the truck for this upcoming season of the Xfinity Series, but once I get to the Cup Series full time, we will start putting subscribers in trucks or Xfinity cars when I own my own team. But basically, we're going to run a part-time schedule for the Truck Series, so you're going to see just a truck race occasionally here and there now, as there you see the Xfinity team pick. 3 5-star offers for myself here, Stewart Haas, Colleague Racing, and Joe Gibbs Racing. Obviously, we were on a Chevrolet team in the Truck Series, but I decided we're going to jump ship and go to a Toyota team here of Joe Gibbs Racing, and we're going to be joined by Riley Herbst and Harrison Burton. So it's going to be an all-rookie class for Joe Gibbs Racing this season here for the Xfinity Series, as we are going to take over Brandon Jones, who obviously hasn't performed the greatest for Joe Gibbs Racing in the past for the Xfinity Series, so that was my reasoning to take over the 19 car. I could have done a custom car, but I decided we're just going to drive a real car now, as there's still not enough customization options. They still don't let you choose the design of the scheme in career mode, unfortunately. And obviously, being now in the JGR camp, we're going to be on Kyle Busch Motorsports for our part-time races in the Truck Series, and we're actually going to run the number 51 truck when we do the part-time races, because that's the truck they usually use, actually, the 51, if I remember correctly, for like the little kind of just other driver type thing that's not full-time. But as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. In the next one, we'll start our Xfinity Series career in Daytona. Thank you for watching, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day.